So I just came down here to take a few pictures of the river, but we're at flood stage. They say minor flood stage, but it hasn't been up this high in quite a while. So it was kind of hard for me to film. I didn't have my tripod and stuff with me. This was kind of an impromptu trip. I did manage to take a few pictures. One thing that I'm kind of noticing is that we've gotten quite a few people that are fishing and just taking advantage of kind of a dreary day when nobody else will be coming down here because there's really nothing to do. Let's see. It also makes for some interesting concepts as far as the compositions go because the water's starting to recede. And when the water recedes and it leaves behind the debris, the pinhole cameras have been the best because I love getting that low vantage point. So I took advantage of a few of the places today, just hopefully they kind of turn out. And I've also been to a restaurant in town, and of course it gets flooded. It's a bar and grill called Bananas, and it gets flooded. Took some interesting compositions on that. Just trying to get around the flood water. You can't get too close to it, but I tried my best. And now what I'm going to do is head on down a little bit over here to some houses that unfortunately are experiencing the flood, and just see if I can find a few things to document along the way. So we'll see how it works out. Right now it's a little windy, so sorry if this audio is pretty bad, but I'm just going to head on down here for just a second to see if I can't get a couple compositions with the pinhole to document this neighborhood. Not able to get down the roads, but there's a boat, there might be some other things, just to document for this year. That's all. I chose this angle, try to get the road closed sign and the canoe off in the distance. I've kind of figured with those two objects, hopefully I might be able to tell a little bit of a story with it. So I was heading to the car and thought I was done filming, and I came across a couple rowing from their house over to the dry part of the road, and they were leaving their boat there because then they get in the car and then they head to town. And so I went over and I asked him if I could take a picture of his boat because they were already kind of halfway up the road and I didn't want to make them go back to the boat, although that would have been cool. And I was talking to the lady and she said that's the first time they've been out in a week, and he's 90 and she is 88, and they rowed their boat over to dry land. She said we shouldn't have, but we needed to get out of the house. And I can't blame her, but wow, some people, they just love living along the river no matter what. And I wish him well. And I appreciate that he let me photograph his boat. I chose this composition right here because you have the sandbags in the foreground, but the tree in the background, that is never touching water. That kind of hangs out over the water, but the water, that's usually another path down there that you can walk along the beach. So I was hoping that by being able to get the bags in the foreground and then the tree in the background kind of submerged in the water, would tell a good story. So it's been a few days and I had a chance to develop the photos from the shoot down at the flood, and overall I was pretty happy with how the images turned out. Some of the compositions weren't perfect, but it's pinhole photography, and that's okay. For me, it's more about the process of creating the images than the final images themselves. In the next coming week or so, I'll be heading back down to the river because once the river recedes, there's a lot of interesting things that are usually left behind, big pieces of driftwood, just large branches. All of these things are kind of neat to go down there. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to click the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.